on page 367, Halacha 32. The sages warn that one should refrain during the 3 weeks from several activities that may lead to danger. Okay, these include walking alone from the beginning of the 4th hour of the day until the end of the 9th hour. You hear this? There's an evil spirit called Ketev Meriri that is loose during the 3 weeks. The evil spirit. And people walking alone from the beginning of the 4th hour of the day till the end of the 9th hour, they could get damaged by this evil spirit, Chas Shalom, during the 3 weeks. So if he says that nowadays there's a lot of people outside, but let's say you're walking alone in a place where there's no people, outskirts of town, especially people go away. People go away and they go to upstate, they go to places where there's no people. So they got to be careful during these hours of the day. Now, the next thing is walking between the shade and the sunlight during the same times I mentioned above. That also has a status of danger over there. And during the 3 weeks, we try to avoid hitting children or students when disciplining them. During the 3 weeks, we try to avoid hitting and disciplining students, because God forbid, if we hit a little too hard, there's a dinim, and this time then something can happen to them. Chas Shalom. 33. Preferably, one should not have non-light threatening surgery during this time. It should be pushed off till after Tisha B'Av. People always ask me, Rabbi, are we allowed to go swimming? Are you allowed to go to the beach? Are you allowed to go to a pool during 3 weeks? One may go to the beach and swim during Ben Mitzarim up until when? Up until Shavuot Shechabel. This year it doesn't really apply because Tisha B'Av is Sunday. So basically almost an entire 3 weeks you're allowed to go to a beach or swim, pool or swim. But again, I want to clarify, it has to be a kosher beach where you're not going to see immodestly dressed ladies, and it has to be a kosher pool where you're also not going to have that issue. 35. Some people avoid traveling on an airplane after Rosh Chodesh Av if it's not necessary. So let's say he has to go for business, so he'll go. But for leisure and vacation, better not to. 36. From the beginning of Rosh Chodesh Av, one should minimize the amount of one's rejoicing. Right? They say, Mishin Nichnas Av, Mema'atin B'Simcha. Right? Once Av comes in, we diminish our rejoicing. Sounds like, they always say, sounds like in Purim and Adar we go up, and Av we go down. But the entire year, we have to be baseline Simcha. We have to be happy in general. Just the question is up or more or less. 37. One who has a court case with a non-Jew should try to defer the court date until after 10th of Av, because that time is not an auspicious time for the Am Yisrael. We know that who took Tammuz and Av? Esav took Tammuz and Av, so therefore our mazal is not that great in that time. 38. One should try to minimize his business dealings from Rosh Chodesh Av till Tisha B'Av. Try to do only essential business, not things that you have to. 39. Even on Rosh Chodesh Av, it's praiseworthy to have a meal in honor of Rosh Chodesh and dress nicer than one does on a regular day. Rosh Chodesh Av is still Rosh Chodesh. You should still respect it as such. Okay, 40. One may not build a new home for his engaged child, nor may he move into a summer home, in a new summer home after Rosh Chodesh Av. However, one is permitted to move into a home to live in. Similarly, one may renovate his home to make it larger. 41. One should refrain from painting his home or making minor unnecessary renovations during this time after Rosh Chodesh Av. However, one may buy wood and other building supplies to build his family a home, especially if one lives in Eretz Yisrael. One may also paint the Beit Knesset in order to make it look more beautiful. Let's say the wall looks like it's going to cave in. Obviously, you're allowed to fix it. One may fix a wall or ceiling if it poses danger of caving in. One's whose job is to paint or renovate. He's permitted to do so if he needs the money for his family. 44. One may paint a picture. It's not considered building. You're allowed to build a fence around your balcony. It's called a ma'akeh. You're allowed to make a ma'akeh around your building. 46. One may put bars on his window to prevent people from physical harm. One may buy new shelves for his farim, and one may buy necessary furniture. During the summer, everybody buys ACs. I remember when we go to camp, we always go upstate. Everybody goes to Walmart first or go to Target first to buy a AC to put into the bungalow, into the house. And then after, when we come back, we bring back the AC to give it back, to return it. The question is that allowed? Are you you're treating the store like a wall, like a gamach? You're borrowing it, you're sending it back. If it's in the terms and conditions and they allow for no reason to return it, it's allowed. But if you're gonna try to pull a slick one and say no, it didn't do its job and it was broken and this, and you're trying to judboziyat loopholes, so then that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. But if it says you could return it because you don't need it anymore, okay, so then they could. Then if it fulfills the terms and conditions, you can return it. But a person should not take advantage and lie, especially on Amazon. Also, people return it and say, "Oh yeah, it was broken," or this. They lie in order to get a refund. That's not allowed. 50. One may not buy an engagement ring from Rosh Chodesh Av because this brings joy. 52. One should refrain from making parties and get-togethers with friends from Rosh Chodesh Av. One who was born during the first 9 days of Av should push off his birthday party until after Tisha B'Av. Okay. 53. The custom for most Sfaradim is to refrain from getting married from Rosh Chodesh Av, including Rosh Chodesh itself, until after Tisha B'Av. This is unlike the Minhag Ashkenazim, who refrain from getting married from the 17th of Tammuz till after Tisha B'Av. I think the Bukharim have the custom of not getting married during 3 weeks either, just like Ashkenazim. I think so. I have to check. But for baseline halacha Shulchan Aruch, then you would be allowed to have weddings during 3 weeks up until Rosh Chodesh Av. Okay, a Sephardi may invite Ashkenazi to his wedding, even if it takes place after Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, since most Ashkenazi poskim can permit an Ashkenazi to attend and dance at a Sephardi wedding. Similarly, Ashkenazi and Sephardi may attend a Sheva Brachot party even after Rosh Chodesh Av. Okay. 57. Even though Sephardim refrain from getting married after Rosh Chodesh Av, you're allowed to get engaged. During the engagement at this time, one should refrain from making an engagement party with music and dancing. Singing, though, is permitted. One should not refrain from meeting a potential shidduch. You should not. You could still go on a date after Rosh Chodesh Av. Okay, this is a big one. Yeah. According to the Gemara, the prohibition of eating meat and drinking wine applies only to the last meal before Tisha B'Av. Nevertheless, the custom of Sfaradim is to refrain from consuming meat and wine from the day after Rosh Chodesh Av until Tisha B'Av. This is known as 9 days. It is known as the 9 days. Now, we don't do laundry and don't shower in hot water, only Shavuot Shechalbo. But since Tisha B'Av is going to be a Sunday, so the whole week before, we're allowed to shower, we're allowed to do laundry. But there's another halacha, 9 days. That's separate. 9 days is regardless of what day Tisha B'Av falls out. The 9 days from Rosh Chodesh Av, after Rosh Chodesh Av until Tisha B'Av, no meat and no wine. While Ashkenazim don't have meat and don't have wine, even on Rosh Chodesh itself. We have wine and meat on Rosh Chodesh, but after Rosh Chodesh itself, we don't have meat and wine. That's everybody goes to the restaurants. They have the 9 days menu. 9 days menu. If one prayed Arvit after Plag Mincha on Rosh Chodesh, he cannot eat meat anymore, even though it's not sunset yet. Okay, when are you allowed to eat meat? This is what we're going to get into next time. Basically, we're going to see that you can't even eat chicken, and you're not allowed to eat unless it's going to be for Sudat Mitzvah. Sudat Mitzvah means Shabbat. We're going to see Brit, Bidyon Haben, Siyum, all these things. We're going to speak about this next time, when you're allowed to have meat and when you're allowed to have wine, but basically it's not allowed. Baruch Adonai Olam.